All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Tells a story. Every camera finds the truth. Every melody reminds me to never lose my youth. Ideas become inventions when imagination leads. And every new horizon begins with planet seeds. Some will say it's impossible. Some will say you dream too much. But history belongs to those who never gave up. My name is Rob McConnell, and my story's not complete. Every challenge made me stronger. Every setback shaped my feet. I'm an author, a musician, a broadcaster through and through, an artist, an inventor. True. A visionary building futures, a publisher lighting the way, a corporate CEO still believing in tomorrow. Every day, the greatest chapter waits ahead, and I'm just getting started. Rob McConnell, one life, many dreams. Vision, endless possibilities. The journey continues.
And welcome to the X Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell, and for the next 2 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we'll cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until midnight, right here on the CanCom Broadcast Network and your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM, streaming us on classic1220.ca. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, as well as on all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. X-Zone Nation, tonight on the X-Zone, we explore the mysteries of magic, mysticism, and the Western esoteric tradition with one of its most respected, engaging, and influential teachers. My guest is Lon Milo DuQuette, author, lecturer, musician, magician, and one of the most recognizable modern interpreters of the thelema and ceremonial magic. For decades, Lon has helped demystify and humanize the occult sciences, making complex systems accessible, meaningful, and even humorous for the students of the world. His books are considered essential reading in esoteric circles. His teachings have shaped generations of practitioners, and his work continues to bridge the ancient and the modern with wisdom and dignity. Tonight, Lon joins us to discuss Aleister Crowley, the nature of magic, the spiritual journey, and the deeper truths behind the symbols and rituals that have fascinated humanity for, centuries. Please welcome to the X-Zone my good friend Lon Milo DuQuette, whose website is www.lonmiloduquette.net. And Lon, welcome back to the X-Zone. Great having you with us again.
It's great to be here again. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, as I told you the last time you were with us, there is an open door invitation here for you. The work that you have done over the years in bridging the esoteric and, the mundane world of this reality is well known and cataloged around the world. So thanks very much for joining us.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Now, what have you been up to since you and I last talked? We talked briefly about an exciting project and a new book that that is going to be, I believe it has been published already. It's called Young Aleister Crowley, and it's published by our good friends at Weezer.
Yes. That's what I'm presently most excited about. You're always excited about the newest thing, know, but this one's taken many years to manifest in this particular form. But it's a novel, and you know that I don't write novels. I've written a lot of books and a lot of books about Aleister Crowley, but they're more like magical textbooks and explaining, the technical ins and outs and history of Western mysticism and magic. And but this is a novel. It's a fiction, a historic fantasy fiction. So it's based on events of Crowley's life, more or less. Okay, and it includes characters, historic characters, celebrated famous people of the day that he did interact with, and but it's not Aleister Crowley, the older Aleister Crowley, but almost the kid, like the 20-year-old, 25-year-old Aleister Crowley before he became the Beast 666 and all of the crazy things that people remembering for. And but it's very interesting because he came upon the magical scene in England, in London, just at the time this very famous, and some say powerful, magical society called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was having like a revolution within itself, like a magician's revolt. As a matter of fact, that's the subtitle of the book is Young Aleister Crowley and the Magician's Revolt. And so he was sort of like he was already famous, okay, as a poet, as a young, brilliant poet. And he was famous as a mountain climber. I mean, he held mountain climbing records that still hold today. Some of his Himalayan adventures. But he was really sort of wild and crazy. He went to Cambridge. He was recruited to be sort of an amateur British intelligence asset, which back in the late 1800s, there wasn't really a professional spy agency. England just used sort of rich kids, who could pay their own steamship ticket to these places, and just report back what they saw about troubles brewing. So he was like a secret agent. He was like a famous poet, and he was kind of a very sexually liberated kind of guy. He was very ahead of his times as far as morality and things go, and he was fascinated with mysticism, and he a voracious reader, and he read everything he could get his hands on, and he started to get very interested in alchemy and ceremonial magic, which is sort of like the Western yoga. And so he stumbles in his naivete, he sort of stumbles into the Golden Dawn right in the middle of this wizard battle. Okay, and I'm talking historically here. I'm not talking about fiction, but this is where I begin to fantasize, if you will, the adventures of the young Aleister Crowley during this very pivotal time, and he interfaces and with MacGregor Mathers, Moynihan Mathers, W.B. Yeats, is a character in it. Bram Stoker, the author of Dracula, is in it, and it was great fun.
Unreal. I've got about 40 seconds before I have to go to my first break, so I'm going to save my next question for you until we get back. And Exonation, our guest this hour is Lon Milo DuQuette. His website is www.lonmiloduquette.net, and that's LonMiloDuQuette.net. And Lon, how many books have you written all told?
I think I've got 21 in print.
Wow. And you're still working on more.
Yeah, I'll do anything to keep from an honest day's work.
Sounds like a plan, my friend. Exonation, stand by. We'll be back on the other side of this break with our guest, Lon Milo DuQuette. www.lonmiloduquette.net. And this is the X Zone. You're listening to us on the CanCom Broadcast Network and your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM, just down the street from us over here on Lake Street in front of beautiful Montebello Park. And if you're looking for something to do and you're in the southern part of Ontario or the northern part of the states of New York or Pennsylvania, take a drive over and see us in Niagara. We've got a lot to do, a lot of great people, and you know what? We love our American friends over here. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Every dream begins with a single spark of light, and every mountain conquered starts with one more fight. Before the roads and the cities were born, before the map of a nation was drawn, the drums of the people echoed through the land, guided by the wisdom of the healer's hand. Under northern lights and the eagle's flight, they listened to the spirits in the silent night. The shaman walked softly where the ancestors tread. bringing hope to the living, honoring the dead. They were keepers of the sacred fire, guardians of dreams and hearts inspired. From the forests and mountains to the oceans wide, they carried ancient wisdom as their guide. And the fire still burns, shining bright today, lighting past what people find in their way. From every nation, every color, every creed, the spirit of the shaman still answers the need.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, if you're wondering what that first song was that we brought you to the show in, it was let me see, One Life, and the one that we just played, Keepers of the Sacred Fire. And of course, all our music here is performed by RAM. Lon Milo DuQuette is my special guest. His website, lonmiloduquette.net. Lon, what was the fascination that you had, or still have, with Aleister Crowley?
Well, at first I heard terrible things about him. This is way back when I was in my early 20s. I was interested in esoteric Freemasonry. My dad was a Freemason, and I read some of the kind of interesting, colorful books. And I was interested in that. And I was also interested in Eastern mysticism. And but I finally came to the conclusion that I'm really a lazy person at heart.
Oh,
and,
come on.
And being a first-class Eastern mystic takes a lot of work. And I thought, well, maybe I'm hardwired to look at this mysticism in another way. And that's kind of when I discovered the Hebrew Qabalah and the Rosicrucians and alchemy and Western things like astrology and such. And eventually, I couldn't get too far into any of those subjects without running into the works of Aleister Crowley. But everything I read about or could read about Crowley at the time was really bad. Okay, he was the wickedest man in the world and everything else. And but I was starting to get into tarot, and I bought the Thoth tarot deck just because it had that Rosicrucian cross on the back, and I was into tarot, and the cards were just magnificent, and so I got the book, the Book of Thoth, and it was so thick and complicated that I understood about 1/8 of 1% of it. But that 1/8 of 1% was so brilliant. And not only that, he was kind of funny too. And I figured, look, maybe I'm not getting everything he's saying here, but everything I am getting is the best I've ever heard. And I just happened to, just pure luck, I came into contact with and communication with a couple old students of Aleister Crowley that lived with him, studied with him. They were still alive and still interested in Crowley, and including Israel Regarde, who was Crowley's private secretary for many years in the 20s. And all of the freaky things I heard about Crowley, I said, did he really do that? No, he didn't do it. But he did this, and that's why everybody thought he did that, kind of thing. So the more I got into Crowley, the more I could sort of understand what he was doing. And I sort of compared him to some of the more unorthodox Eastern gurus, Eastern mystics like Ramakrishna, the guru of Vivekananda, who was just as wild and crazy guy as Aleister Crowley was, but in India, that was a good thing, And So I came in contact with a couple old initiates of Crowley's order who ended up initiating me into his magical society, which at the time was just those two and about three others from Crowley's day.
Mm-hmm.
They, in order to keep it going, they started, and after Crowley died, they started initiating again in the 70s, and I finally took initiation in 75, and then all of his material kind of was opened up to me, and I could seriously dig into his material and see that he was one of the most important mystical minds of the 20th century. And so that got me going. And I eventually had the opportunity to write a book with Christopher S. Hyatt, who had a couple of best-selling books on sort of like Jungian psychology. But he was fascinated with Crowley, and so we co-authored 4 books in 2 years, and that sort of got me started believing that, I can write a book.
Yeah.
And so that's what I started to do.
Why do you think Crowley got such a bad rap?
Because he had poor judgment. He had poor judgment on the ability of the general public to see when he was obviously having people on.
Mm-hmm.
And he there was a certain amount of arrogance in it, like you find in many geniuses. There was a certain arrogance, and
Well, I don't think you and I are arrogant.
no, I'm sure our genius manifests in other ways.
I couldn't help that plug, The devil made me do it.
But geniuses often have little patience with people that aren't geniuses. Okay, and Crowley was writing as much for himself as he was everybody else, and he eventually sort of came to the conclusion that any publicity was good publicity for his writings. Otherwise, no one is going to pick up his material and read it. And those that do and understand it will be just the type of people that he wants to understand it. Okay, he found his target market by blowing away everyone who wasn't his target market. Does that make sense?
It does, and that's brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that if Crowley would have published his book in today's society, that he would have that the message and his writing would have been more appreciated than it was back then? That he wouldn't in today's society get the negative rap that he did way back then?
He would have been wildly popular.
Yeah.
Okay, he would have he would have had his own podcast. He would be the guest on the Daily Show. Yes. When you think of characters, 20th century characters such as Alan Watts, or the colorfulness of Dr. Timothy Leary, or Crowley's lifestyle that was so scandalous in those days, people wouldn't bat an eyelash at all those things that everyone was so upset about.
I'll bet that we would be able to see him standing behind President Trump during one of Trump's what do they call them? Press conferences in the Oval Office? Yeah. standing right beside Elon Musk and Pete Hegseth. And then Miller, and then J.D. Vance, and Marco Rubio.
Oh, what fun he would have.
Oh, wouldn't it, eh?
Oh, geez. Yes. And yes, he would actually be very, very popular. And today, as a matter of fact, toward the mid 60s, people were really on the fringes of the cutting edge of the arts and sciences. Were already starting to get into Crowley. Okay. The Beatles, 20 years, you know how Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the first cut on it starts, it says, it was 20 years ago today, Sgt. Pepper taught the band to play.
Right.
Well, it was 20 years ago today when the album was released that Aleister Crowley died. Oh. And Aleister Crowley appeared on the
cover,
the album cover. Yeah. Okay. So it was like Aleister Crowley died in 1947 and lay dormant for 20 years. And then all of a sudden he appears on the most anticipated work of art in the world at that time. And from then on, Crowley started to seep into popular consciousness.
Stand by, Lon. You and I have to take our break at the bottom of the hour. And Exo Nation, our guest this hour is Lon Milo DuQuette. His website is lonmiloduquette.net. And I would imagine all your books are available on Amazon?
Oh, yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Interesting. Just imagine that. You and I are like Aleister Crowley. Huh. I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll have to think this one over. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone, and Lon Milo DuQuette and I will be back on the other side of this break if the CRTC doesn't yank my license for this. And we'll be back. Don't go away. And you're listening to us on the CanCom Broadcast Network. And let me see. Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network. Oh, and a few more that I don't have right in front of me. But the main one is our hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM, right here in St. Catharines, Ontario. That stream us at classic1220.ca. We'll be back on the other side of this break, so whatever you do, don't go away. You can practice magic if you'd like, but don't go away.
Before the roads and the cities were born, when the world grows quiet and the daylight fades, we drift through the doorway that the moonlight made. Beyond every memory, beyond every fear, dreams paint a picture that only we can hear. They carry our questions on rivers of light, sailing through shadows in the middle of the night. A whisper from tomorrow, a lesson from the past, a fleeting constellation that was never meant to last. Dreams are the lanterns in the dark of the soul, guiding us gently where we're.
You know, you and I were talking earlier about Aleister Crowley and the number 666. Years ago, had to be about 20 years ago, I had Pastor Harry Walther on the show, Lon, and he said, Rob, do you know what the number 666 is all about? And, you know, I go into this monologue about the Bible, the book of Revelation, and after about 10 minutes and I'm out of breath, he says, "No, you're wrong." I said, I'm wrong? He said, yeah, 666 is the WWW of the world. The World Wide Web. A little bit of nostalgia there.
Well, W is 6 in Hebrew. It's Vav. Okay, yeah. 666. Yeah.
WWW. Aleister Crowley remains one of the most popularizing figures in esoteric history. No two ways about it. What do people still get wrong about him? What are the three biggest mistakes when it comes to understanding Aleister Crowley?
Well, number one, his philosophy of do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Biggest misconception is do what thou wilt means do whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. It's total unrestricted liberty to do anything, whether it hurts other people or not.
Well, does that equate to the Bible and other religious philosophies when they say we have free will?
Well, it's like we have free will and destiny at the same time. It's almost a quantum type logic.
Okay.
But the key word in his whole philosophy of thelema is Greek for will, and it's a Greek word for will, and it's a special word for will. It carries the connotation of it is the will as the human will and the divine will at the same time. Okay. The word thelema is used in the Lord's Prayer. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That's thy kingdom come, thy thelema will be done. Jesus at Gethsemane, when he was, in agony about what's going to come up the next day, he said, if it be thy will, let this cup pass from me. And that, he said, let this thelema, if it be thy thelema, let this cup pass from me. So it's a nuanced word that means if you really knew what your will was, your will meaning your reason for existing, kind of assuming that you would not even be a consciousness unit if there wasn't something in the universe that needed to be done that only you can do. Otherwise, nothing is useless. Okay, everything has its purpose. Yeah. Everything has its will. So if you could actually go to work instead of trying to figure out what some vaporous God's will is, if you could just go to work and try to discover what your will is, that would be one and the same with what everybody else for centuries has been calling God's will. That's do what thou wilt, and that's the whole law. You have that's your job. You don't have any other job to do except find out what your will in life is, and then do it. And then when you do that, you're like a star or a planet in a perfect ordered orbit. You're in your own orbit. You're in your own trajectory. And once you discover your will, in a sense, you have the entire momentum of the universe behind you. if that makes any sense. Okay, and it sure doesn't mean do whatever you want. As a matter of fact, do what thou wilt uh, is about as strict of a disciplinary statement as anything you can imagine.
Lon, why do you believe that Crowley's teachings are still relevant in today's chaotic world?
They get more significant and more relevant with each passing chaotic day.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's sort of the you could sort of see it was going to be a wild ride because actually, Crowley sort of tried to pinpoint the major change in human consciousness that occurred probably around the turn of the century. He pinpointed it at 1904. And just imagine how much the world hadn't changed in almost 3,000 years until the turn of the 20th century. And how much the world has changed in just the last 100 years.
It's amazing to see how the world changes day by day.
Oh, it's crazy. And don't get me started on AI. Because it's one of those things that can be a wonderful tool that is going to be immediately misused. So hang on to your hats.
Okay, so Aleister Crowley 1, AI 0.
Well, AI will have its place too. So, but it's certainly going to be an interesting and a bumpy ride, especially if we lose our environment.
That is so true. Maybe AI will help us create a better environment and help us to fix the wrongs that we've done to this beautiful planet of ours.
One would only hope.
Isn't that the truth, my friend? Do you believe Crowley may have anticipated the psychological and spiritual challenges of the modern era?
Yes. And that's just a simple yes. And the Aeon of Horus is what he calls this new phase that humanity is in. Is likened to the process of continual growth of a child. And right now, we're like a really young child whose parents are letting it just go crazy. Okay, a child is innocent. Yes, you can see in a sense that we're poignantly naive and innocent. But a child, especially when a child relates with other children, can be absolutely violent and cruel. And it's like we're nations of children, just throwing a fit. Now, nations have always butted heads, but the childishness of what's going on. I mean, you could look at Napoleon and go, well, there's a mature, a dictator monster. It's not like that anymore. Everybody is acting like babies. But babies, if they're allowed to live, grow.
Hopefully.
And that's what the magical formula of the new Aeon is. It's a formula of continual growth in the same way that a child grows up, gets a hold of itself, starts to discipline itself, educates, okay, and turns into a productive, noble human being, ideally. But right now, we are like a child whose parents have just let it run amok. And if we just don't destroy our playpen, we'll have a chance to grow up. So,
Yeah. There's so many ways I could go on that comment. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to have to wait until we come back from our final break. And Exo Nation, our guest this hour is Lon Milo DuQuette. His website is lonmiloduquette.net, and that's LonMiloDuQuette.net. Lon, stand by. We have to take our final break. And Exo Nation, if you'd like to send me an email, pro or con, exxon@exxonradiotv.com, or on any of the social media sites, Exxon Radio TV. You're listening to the X Zone on the CanCon Broadcast Network and your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM, streaming us at classic1220.ca.
When the world grows quiet and the daylight fades, we drift through the doorway that the moonlight made. Beyond every memory, beyond every fear, dreams paint a picture that only we can hear. They carry our questions on rivers of light, sailing through shadows in the middle of the night. A whisper from tomorrow.
My name is Michael Telstar, Canada's leading mentalist from Toronto, Ontario.
Hi, my name is Belinda, and you're listening to my dad, Ron McConnell, on the X Zone.
This is Psychic Dorothy from St. Catharines, and you're listening to Rob McConnell.
Hello, my name is Holly Reeves, an astrologer from Astro For You, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
From Newfoundland shores to the peaks so grand, we walk together united in this land. Every culture, every heart, a story to unfold. In this living tapestry, our pride is bold. With the wheat fields waving under skies so wide, we carry within us the Canadian pride. It's more than a passport, it's a bond, it's a song. To be Canadian, where we all belong. Oh, proud to be Canadian, our spirits soar high, with values that connect us like stars in the sky. We stand for each other through thick and through thin, in this beautiful mosaic, together we win. Oh, proud to be Canadian, let the anthem resound. A place full of promise, our hearts are unbound.
And welcome back. Lon Milo DuQuette is my very special guest. His website is lonmiloduquette.net. What is the difference between magic and mysticism, Lon?
Well, it's sort of like outie and innie.
Are we talking belly buttons here?
That's a naval question.
And now,
No, mysticism is sort of inward work, and magic is inward work that is projected outwardly. So the magical tools and the ceremonial robes and the all of the drama of magic are really outward expressions of inner dynamics, and that goes back to when I said Eastern mysticism was hard work.
Mm-hmm.
That's because it was kind of difficult for me to exclusively do my self-initiatory work all inwardly. I sort of had to project it outwardly to get a grasp on what all that inner work was about. So if that makes any sense at all.
It does. So we can call mysticism the inner working of your spiritual self to be a better person?
Right. Or to be a more awake person,
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
What daily practices do you personally rely on to stay balanced and connected doing the work that you do?
Well, first of all, the daily routine of a magician is different as the years progress.
Do you still have to get up and feed your bunny rabbits?
That's right. You still have to chop wood and carry water, but with initiation and different levels of awakening. Okay, it's not something that all of a sudden you say, "Ooh, now I'm more awake than I was yesterday." Now, the consciousness, your self-consciousness, grows with you, so you don't notice it happening. Okay, until you start to say, "Would I trade places with the consciousness I had, a year ago or 5 years ago?" Then you say, "Heavens, no! I was a moron 5 years ago." And so it becomes once you've set a pattern of what the work is, like if you get up in the morning and do cleansing rituals, yoga, things like pranayama, things like that. But it's to center you. It's to get you into a place where you're aware of being aware of yourself. And after a while, you that transfers over to everything that you do in your daily work. Is it part of that will that I was talking about earlier, or am I just wasting my will time? And so your everyday great work becomes everyday inner great work too. But most magicians start off with a very simple routine of some kind. Now, years ago, my wife and I just woke up one morning and I said, "Let's play monastery." And
how do you play monastery?
Well, I was starting to work at home with writing books and things like that. And when we were young hippies, we've been married 59 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. When we were young hippies, we did all sorts of meditative disciplines every morning, chanting and pranayama and yoga and things like that. And we'd sort of fallen away from those practices. So we thought, look, let's play monastery for a while, and let's get up at a particular early time, and let's be totally silent, just like in a monastery. You don't talk. We'll be silent until after breakfast. And so we get up. She went upstairs to the loft and did her meditative program. I went out to the patio and did my meditative program, and it was including pranayama, mantra yoga, banishing rituals, and things like that. The neighbors had to watch, geez, and then we did little things. At breakfast, we could talk. Okay, we ring a bell, and then get on with our day. But then I did solar adorations at noon, at dawn, noon, and sunset at midnight, and we did it for almost 3 years. And it was awesome. Okay, it was absolutely awesome. And throughout it all, I wrote a couple of books. We did our weekly Monday night magic class. It didn't get in the way at all, but it gave us the freedom of discipline, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it does, because in today's world, time is of the essence, and there is no time for discipline.
Right. You don't know how much time you've got until you start to do it. Yeah.
How important is meditation in ceremonial magic?
In a sense, it's all meditation.
Okay.
Yeah. If you mean, specific techniques of meditation, mantra, like TM or that's one thing. But if you ever see a good, competent ceremonial magician, if you see films of him or her do a pentagram ritual, you can tell the second they take a deep breath and go into the position where they hold their wand and everything else. You can almost see what's going on inside at the time, and it's true concentration. And that comes with practice at first, and that's why you do it at first. You do those practices of dharana and dhyana, of being able to concentrate on one thing to the exclusion of all other things. And in magic, when you stand up in the middle of your living room or wherever you do your magic, and you close your eyes to begin the ceremony, you're beginning the ceremony inside yourself. All of it's inside yourself, even if you open your eyes and look around the room. It's all being done inside yourself.
It seems that there's a big difference between ceremonial magic and stage magic.
Well, yeah, they both can be entertaining, for sure. But stage magic is the art of illusion, and in a great transcendent way, everything's illusion anyway. That's why a lot of stage magicians are just dying to be mystical magicians, because they sense, even if it's subconsciously, that all existence, all things perceived, are in one sense illusions. And so the stage magic is a totally different thing. You don't do magic as entertainment.
What is, I've got about a minute before I have to say so long to you. So in a nutshell, what is magic compared to stage magic?
Magic is literally learning what is making change to occur in your life in conformity with your will. And the most important thing to change is yourself. So magic is causing change to appear or change to occur in conformity to your will. And that's Crowley's definition of magic. And I've yet to hear one that is more profoundly true.
Well, I would love to have the opportunity of trying to find out another definition between the two of us, since we're both geniuses. But I have to say so long for tonight. Lon, it's always a great pleasure talking to you. I wish you continued success, and I look forward to the next time that you and I have the opportunity of sharing time and space here in the X Zone with you.
Well, thank you. Looking forward to it.
Take care, my friend. And X Zone Nation, if you'd like to find out more about my guest this hour, Mr. Lon Milo DuQuette, his website is lonmiloduquette.net. Now, I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone for the second hour of tonight's show. Another interesting guest, more paranormal, more parapsychology, and more of yours truly, Rob McConnell, on the CanCon Broadcast Network and your hometown radio, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM, who stream us at classic1220.ca. I'll be back. Don't go away.
In this living tapestry, our pride is bold, with the wheat fields waving under skies so wide. We carry within us the Canadian